right. Corey and Oded, thank you so much for joining me today. And you know you guys have very busy schedules.
My
Um,
pleasure.
but I talked to Adam yesterday, and he's such a great guy. I mean,
Yeah.
I had already enjoyed the film. Tell me what drew you guys to this project. We'll start with you, Corey.
I had gotten a call from my agent about 8 years ago that there was a guy who wanted to do a short film. And whenever someone talks about a short film, I always go, well, look, it's a vanity project. It's somebody who fancies himself a writer or a director or both, or he's written something he's going to act in, and I'm going to, be an actor who's going to legitimize him and whatever. And I usually say, no, 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 no. And for some reason, I know what it was. He said, yeah, this guy asked for you by name. He wants you to do it. And so, I mean, being an ego, I was very flattered by that. So they sent me the script and I read it, and I'm reading it and I'm going, this is really interesting. And the last bit of it, the last sort of 5 minutes of it, was a monologue that this guy had that pretty much, tied everything together and brought it all to a head. And I thought, I've got to do this because it read really brilliantly. It was a great idea, and it looked like it was going to film really in a nice compact environment, very tense. And then this monologue, I just said, I've got to do this. I've got to do this. And I pretty much went to Adam the next day. I met him in Starbucks and I told him exactly what I've just told you. And that was 8 years ago. Adam and I have done 3 things, including that one, in the last 8 years, with plans to do many more. I mean, I've told him, I said, buddy, I will cross the street through broken glass and traffic to work with you. I said, I'll do, you just ask and I'm there,
Wow, that's great. Oded, how about you?
As John, as Corey told me to say, I would walk to the ends of the earth for him. No, it truly would. We've been friends ever since The Mummy. We became very close then, and we've been very, very close friends ever since. And, I'm always dreaming of opportunities for us to work together. As well as the fact that I've seen that short that they're talking about. I've seen it and I absolutely love it. And I've heard about Adam so much, and I know how wonderful the experience of working with him is. So when Corey called me up and asked me if I would join them on this project, I said, I'm there, buddy, whatever it is. So yeah.
Well, and, things like that, honestly, things like that in the business, or people are always saying, oh, I'd love to work with him. I'd love to work with him. And then you go, yeah, it just never worked out. Really, Oded just went the extra mile, literally about 4,000 of them, because he flew from Los Angeles to London to do the film. And, he stayed at my house, he used my toilet. It was awful. No, but, it was one of those things where you just go, if we can take advantage of this opportunity, we've got to take advantage of it, because I enjoy his company. I enjoy him as an actor. He's a great guy. And so, it was kind of a no-brainer when this
stop.
Thing
Just
worked out.
Go on.
I'll say it again. He's a great guy. He's a hell of an actor. He looks good with gray. It's fabulous.
Oh, thank you.
Well, I mean, let's just keep it going. I'll just say it. Oded, you're my favorite character in the Mummy franchise. So
thank you.
As a part of the match, I always thought you were, every time you showed up, I thought you were just the coolest. So we're gonna keep that going. It's great to hear that, because when talking to Adam, not talking to you guys, it really shows the passion in the business of filmmaking, and how close knit some of you guys all are. And then when it comes together, no matter what kind of hurdles you have to go through, because man, did Lair go through some hurdles in order to get done.
Yeah.
It's going to get done because of the passion behind it, because of the people behind it.
I think there's a phrase, actors, we used to not get paid for doing this. It was, you did it because you loved doing it, and they were known as amateurs, which means, I do it for love. I mean, that's what actors used to do. It's like, you just give me a bed and maybe a little bit of food money and I'm fine. I think the thing about a film, even a play, anything, film and television, you become a family. You know, you have a shared experience that helps define your working environment, and that feeds the working environment. You know, when we were doing The Mummy, we were 6 weeks in the middle of the desert in Morocco, and you know, that sort of helps define who you are in that environment. When we came out and had to film the rest of the movie in a studio, we had that shared experience, and it was like a shorthand for us to be able to say, you know, I'm going to do this and you're going to do that, and it's going to be fun. You know, that's what acting on a film is. The difference is 9 times out of 10, when you finish the film, you go your way, he goes his way. Oded and I stayed, you know, close, which is great because that's rare.
I'm gonna add a little geeking out thing here. One of the things that we loved doing together, when we were in Morocco, Corey didn't stop talking about his Mac. He had a Mac, and I used PCs up until that time. And the first thing I did coming home in the way back from the airport is order my Mac. Right. And we used to sit while filming. We used to sit and play the old game of Marathon. Do you remember Marathon?
Bungie.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
The guys who made Halo made Marathon before Halo.
The guys who made Halo and the guys who made Destiny.
That's right. Yeah.
Which I do the voice of whatever on Destiny.
Nice.
Of Osiris.
Nice tie-in.
And
really
it's
good.
all tying in. And we used to connect our 2 computers with an Ethernet cable.
With an Ethernet cable. This is before Wi-Fi.
Yeah. There's a great photo of me in the Magi costume and Corey in his cowboy costume. And we're just playing away on this game against each other. By the way, I never won, ever.
No, you kicked my ass after a while. I kept blaming it on the lag. He'd go, dude, it's not the lag. I'm just better than you. Oh, it's like, God almighty, you got to be kidding me.
But that kind of started a lifelong friendship, which is pretty fabulous. And now we're 5 children after, and it's amazing. It's amazing to get to work together again.
That's great. That's awesome to hear about your guys' friendship. Let's get a little bit darker now. Let's move on to the film. We meet Ben first.
He's really not a nice. Oh, you want to talk about the film? I see what you're saying. Okay.
we meet Ben first, and I was telling Adam that the way that opening sequence was shot, we don't really get to see you, but the way it was shot, I always almost found myself trying to peer around the corner of the TV so I can get a look at who it was and what was going on. And then finally, we go to the next scene where both of you really open up the film to what we're gonna be experiencing. So from your perspective, Oded, tell me a little bit about Ben and what he went through.
I think, you know, I think the idea was that he kind of went on this ride with the excitement of, you know, researching what would happen and hopefully the monetary prospect of it. But then obviously it all went wrong, and tragically his life was destroyed. And I think he definitely blames his partner on that one. It's you know, it's not something that I could even imagine, but you know, I try to kind of collect my 22 years of frustration with Corey and just channel it all in one scene, you know, and get it out there.
It was easy then.
Yeah.
Corey, you play a very, very interesting character because you guys had some really good scares in the film, but I found myself, especially as the film developed, so much more interested in Steven and just the way he developed, and you kind of started seeing him even a little bit more sinister than the actual demonic beings in the house. Tell me a little bit more about Steven.
In some ways, I think the part of the problem with not just playing someone like that, but part of the problem being a member of a society and seeing someone like that is you always see the worst aspects of that person. And that person always says, but I'm really a nice guy. I don't think Steven thinks he's doing anything bad. Right. I think he's maybe bending the rules a little bit to try and get his friend off a kind of a hook that he's on. But really, it's more to say, you know, look, if I'm a serial debunker, if I can prove that these things actually happen, it might be a way of getting him out of trouble. But it is also taking the entirety of his career and throwing it to the wind, you know? I mean, because how can you say, oh, I've debunked stuff, but now I've proven that this is true? And so, in a way, what he does is he kind of gets hoisted by his own petard. I mean, he's trying to prove that they're true, but in a weird way, he's just throwing the kitchen sink at stuff. And then something happens. Mm-hmm. And he begins to go, you know, you can't just back off of that and go, well, I'm going to turn it over to the authorities now because I've proven this. This is the kind of thing where you take it and you have to finish it. And that's what I think he was trying to do. And I think in the end, it was bigger than him.
Yeah, because I don't ever feel like he respected the power of what was released. No, even to the point where he's in the same building. Right. But I never feel like he thinks it can get me. I feel like he thinks he's in his own little bubble.
Yeah, he thinks he's safe. He's got the metal shutters on the window, and he's going to trap this thing, you know. And I think that kind of a lack of respect for something that is bigger than you is born out of a sense of ignorance rather than stupidity. I don't think he's a stupid man. I think he's got a selective ignorance about what it is he's deciding that he wants to accept and what it is he doesn't need to accept, you know.
I like the way you put that, selective ignorance, because one of the lines that comes to mind when you say that is when something happens, he goes, oh, well, you know what? It's just film and I can actually now sell this. I can write a book. I can do this. And so he makes it okay for himself to continue on this really dark path.
Yes. Yeah. And I think, you know, you don't realize, it's like somebody said something interesting about the quality. They were talking about the quality of a scene, and they said it's got the quality of a dream that slides into a nightmare. And it's like, you don't realize it's a nightmare until you're well past the point of no return. And then you go, oh my God, you know, this is really happening, you know, sort of thing. And that's where he was. He can justify anything that comes at him. That's one of his strong points, you know. And the great thing about a character like this is he gets killed by his strength, not by his weakness, you know. That's how you attack someone. You exploit their strength because they're going to think that's impregnable, you know?
I like that. That was very, very well said. Oded, I got to ask you about the situation that the film finds itself in. We all, well, I'm not sure how many Airbnbs you stay at, but these places sometimes that we rent out to stay at while we're traveling and really not knowing what's there or necessarily even the idea of who's watching. Tell me how that can be uncomfortable just to watch somebody like Corey watching from another room.
You know, the funny thing is there's so many horror stories, and I'm in Texas at the moment. My son is shooting this insane short, and so I'm helping produce it. And the reason I've got all this crazy long hair and everything, I'm playing like a homeless character in it. But I arranged for us to stay at this house that's out in the middle of nowhere by it's next to a little pond. But it was one of those houses that it looked like it's too good to be true. And I kept calling somebody that we were meeting with, whose place we were shooting at, to say, can you do me a favor? Can you just drive by there just to see that the house actually exists? Because you've heard so many stories about people who have booked houses and then there's no house there, you know, or things like that. And then when we get to the house, we got there in the middle of the night. It's this big house. You have to drive through these gates from this little road. It's all kind of wooded area. You get there, and right next to the house, there's like a big shed barn kind of thing. And the people who were with me were like, should we go check it out? And I'm like, no, let's not do that. I don't know, you know, like you never know. Nowadays people have cameras everywhere, you know.
Right.
And it's one of those things when you stay in somebody else's house, you're always like,
yeah,
is that a camera, or is that what? you have that feeling like somebody's constantly watching you. And yeah. So yeah, I 100% agree with you. It's all very weird and strange, this Airbnb thing coming into people's homes and kind of taking on their lives in a certain way.
Yeah, Corey might be watching you right now. Well, I mean, technically he is, but
oh no, I know he is. He does all the time.
Yeah, it's just fun to see horror really develop and change with the times. What is scary in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s is maybe not as scary, but yeah, as we all do things like things like that, it's interesting to see that directors grab those and find new ways to scare us. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. Corey, Oded,
thank you.
Like I said, big fans of you guys. I love the franchise that you from The Mummy, and it's been really nice to talk to you both.
Thank you. So lovely speaking with you.
Yeah, good talking to you. Good luck with everything.
Also, one last thing, you are a very good looking homeless man. If that's the look you're
oh no, it's gonna be a little worse than that. It's gonna be a little
there you
more
go.
like
That's
this.
good. There you go.
All right, take care, guys.
Take care.
Thank
See you soon.